Okay, step 7, halfway mark. For this step, we will not need the chassis. What we will need is the metal support rod for a hotbed. Or if you're doing a LT at this point, it's not a hotbed, it's just the regular print bed. You'll need 2 zip ties. You'll need this bed support here. You'll need the other small bed support. You'll need these 3 end caps that are, and this is actually different than what's in the current instruction manual. So they're just small pieces that fit into these springs. Should be 3 of them. You'll need the 3 springs, like so. 1, 2, 3. And you'll need the 3 long 4 screws. So in your screws that are left over, there should be 3 thinner ones. There should be 2 middle-sized ones and then 3 big ones. So 3 long big ones. And what else do you need? And then you also need the 2 middle-sized big ones. That's it. Okay. Well, and you also need the hotbed and hotbed cables. So this is also something that's different than the instruction manual, the original instruction manual. The final hotbed connectors we're using, so basically on one end it's all the same. You've got the 4-pin connector, 2-pin connector, but on the other end it's a 6-pin connector. That's what's different between the original instruction manual and this one. And then, assuming you've got the hotbed, this is the final hotbed, well, the final pre-production hotbed. The production hotbed will have solder mask on the back side as well. It'll have this type of connector, as you can see, and it's got this handy little cover with MakiBox. Yeah. If you have a hotbed that has this exposed, just be a little bit careful with it. It's generally pretty robust, but at the same time, be nice to it. So, getting started with the step. Actually, there's a lot of pieces, but at the same time, it's a pretty fast step. Okay, so for this stage, we'll need this support, this metal bar. You see there's 2 holes in the metal bar. There's 2 little tabs sticking out here. Make sure, so you can see that the support is not symmetrical. Just make sure that the supports are closer to this end of the bar. Like so. So again, these supports, they're not centered. Put them closer to the end of the bar. Take the wire tie, zip tie, put it through the holes in the base of the support, cinch it right up. Now you're going to want to get this as tight as you can without just altogether breaking it. That's kind of where the needle nose pliers come in. And then you can clip off the extra using the wire cutters. So be careful to not overdo them, because you can basically pull it so hard that it will wind up breaking them. And just clip the rest, so it should look something like this. Okay. And then, next step, so this end piece, so goes in just like this. So you can see that the post faces up the same direction as these guys. And then just put a single screw in through the back side. Make sure that it winds up straight, so even if it gets started crooked, be sure to straighten it out. And this is a pretty tight screw, so it'll take a bit of force just to screw it in. That should be it. So just tighten it down nice and snug again. Okay, and then you're going to need your 3 springs with your end caps on the tops. So, and then your hotbed will fit down on top of them. You may or may not decide that this is the easiest route to get them started. Looks like, or there. You might actually find that it's easier to kind of get these guys in place first. Looks like if you they do slide on, but it seems like there is a little bit of catch at the beginning sometimes. Okay, so I'm gonna instead. So yeah, so maybe start with the springs coming through the hotbed, and then put the springs on top, and then feed these down onto it all at the same time. And you should be able to get the screws started into the bosses without screwing anything. Like that. And like that. So if you just get a couple of turns on each, that will kind of secure it. Make sure the screws are actually going into the bosses. And then what you're going to need to do is bring the bed right down. So it's just getting your wrench in like this and just going at it. Now, you don't need to compress it all the way. You can leave maybe about 5 mm between this support and that support. But if you don't get it far enough down, you're going to wind up having to do this when it's actually in the printer, which is a lot more awkward. So it's significantly easier to do it here. And leave about 5 mm gap between the top support and the bottom boss. Kitchen. Okay, good. So just check and make sure you didn't go too far with any of them. That's it for this step. So that's step 7.